They bring so many skills. I had a daycare. I had 300 kids in my daycare. And I always use, when I talk to some of the presidents, I got them to send the students down to volunteer to work and give time in our daycare. And so if you were majoring in elementary education or something, that was an opportunity for you to practice your trade. I think the students here, you got this whole community that can be a laboratory for exposure to practice their skills and make inner city kids better qualified to do what they do.
For those students who question their role in the community, their role around advocacy, I'm going to share a quote from one of my sheroes, Marion Wright Edelman. "Service is the rent you pay for living on this earth. It is not simply something you do in your spare time." And so as I think about 2015 and some work that United Way is going to embark upon, we're going to need those students.
But there's something about when you do the history and you go back to Soweto in South Africa and apartheid, and when the young people in Soweto decided that enough was enough, they moved that country forward. And then President Mandela and others really followed that youth movement. And we need that kind of movement today around education, that it's no longer not cool to have that education, no longer not cool not to graduate from high school. And we need a massive movement, no different than we saw around sports in our national championship. Imagine if we could fill stadiums. Imagine if we would have an educational playoff where stadiums would be filled to usher the new graduates in and have a playoff on who was going to get X amount of millions of dollars for education or research.
When I think of college students, I think of individuals who are on this incredible path of exploration. They're exploring themselves, they're questioning the status quo. All of the attributes that should make them good students, I think make them perfect to be involved with young people. Quite frankly, college students can probably relate in a more understanding way to what these young people may be going through than a 62-year-old Janet Jackson. I think their value is incredible, and one that I don't think we as community, we as organizations tap into. But I'm seeing a core group of young people who want change. And even if it's because they're seeing, the Fergusons and other situations throughout this country that they don't want to accept and shouldn't accept, I'm hoping that even those experiences will motivate them to become more involved, more engaged.
Our vision here at the Student Life Multicultural Center doesn't depart greatly from the overall vision of Student Life, which is about creating transformational and extraordinary experiences for students. We happen to do that through a diverse and an inclusive and intercultural lens. So here, the work that we do, the programs, the resources and services that we provide, we want them to undergird this notion of watching students come in as they are, experience diversity and inclusion in a way they've never experienced it before, and then leave this institution and leave us with some foundation and grounding and knowing who they are, what that means in the individual sense, but also the collective or group sense, and then what responsibility does that group have to making our world a better place.